While Maine Life continues to celebrate lifestyle, the Maine Business Show focuses on the people, the ideas, and the industry that connect our communities and build Maine's economy.
From family-owned businesses to statewide employers, we are taking you behind the scenes to show you what it's really like to do business in Maine. The Maine Business Show is presented by SAPI, global leader in sustainable solutions, proudly supporting Maine jobs, innovation, and the future of business. Welcome to a brand new season of the Maine Business Show, and what better way to kick off a new season than in Aroostook County with our county experts, Ginger and Michael. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks for coming up.
I'm so excited to dive into this episode all about the agricultural industry, such an important industry up here in the county. Ginger, I'm going to start with you here just to sort of set the scene. For those who don't know your personal relationship and history, maybe you can give a little context.
Absolutely. So like you said, I grew up here in Aroostook County and grew up getting stuck behind tractors, driving to school, and really watching and engaging with harvest through the years. And then I actually married into a farm family, Buck Family Farms. I'm so proud to be part of their family now. We're actually going to go visit them later today.
Yeah.
And they grow grain and have a malt house. So I've really kind of been ingrained now in that. My 2-year-old daughter can name more farm equipment than I can. I learned from her.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
And Michael, even if you didn't grow up in a farming family, you still felt culturally living here the effects of farming, good and bad, like with the tractor jam.
Right.
But what was that like growing up?
Yeah, so where we lived here too in Aroostook County and Caribou, our house was surrounded by farmland. So we were always able to see the equipment. While I didn't work in the farming industry now, growing up we had harvest, and a lot of people downstate or out of state might not know what that is, but you would take a couple weeks off during prime harvest time, school would shut down, and then you'd have students that would go work and help all these farmers basically get their crop out of the ground. So my parents worked harvest, my grandparents worked harvest, and they worked for farmers, and it was kind of a rite of passage. Mom and dad are like, hey, when it's harvest time, you're gonna experience it, and I'll tell you what, it really teaches you the value of hard work and earning a dollar. So it was kind of fun to see that collaboration all around our house with different farmers, crop rotations, and just having a real closeness with each other.
A front row seat to it all.
Absolutely.
And I really think big themes of this episode, as we'll see, are family, tradition, community, but really work ethic. There's no shortage of that up here. And so there's no better way to kick off our first episode than going to Ginger's family farm. We're heading to the Maine Malt House.
Buck Farms got started in 58. My grandfather, he graduated high school, he bought a tractor and he leased 40 acres and he started farming potatoes. And his father at the time was in a construction business, and he ended his construction career to help his father on the farm. We kind of operate under a few different names depending on what we're marketing. So we have Buck Farms grain, and that's what we're selling to other bakeries, other processes. The Maine Malt House is when we add the value to send it to breweries and distilleries, but it's all under the Buck Family Farm umbrella. So in 2014, me and my brothers were looking to come back on the farm. We're 4 brothers within 4 years, and we were the next generation at the time. And in 2014, the potato market was kind of shrinking. Things were tight. And so we knew that in order for all of us to sustain, we couldn't just do potatoes. We couldn't come back and just do that. So the initial thought process was actually like, you know, the craft beer's booming, let's grow some hops. We ended up actually planting a half an acre, and that first year we got the harvest going, the crops were growing, so we were like, let's go see if there's anybody actually interested in buying these. We went to Sea Dogs. We talked to a guy named Brooks Matthews, and he was like, yeah, you know, that's cool and all, but I use a lot of malt. We're like, well, what's malt? And then we got back in the vehicle and we started looking at it, and then come to find out we were already growing the barley that you need for the malt. So we're halfway there, and that's kind of where the whole thing was born. That first year, we didn't move a whole lot of product. It's kind of disheartening how slow it was. And then Allagash called up, so we're like, yeah, we'll get this done as quick as possible. From that time, I think Allagash buying that gave us a reputation, and that kind of launched us into the community in a more assertive way. We all enjoy it, and we all enjoy bringing our kids into work with us, and all the cousins play together and stuff, so yeah, it's great. There's definitely a weight to that responsibility in making sure that we're sustainable and doing everything we can to keep our grandfather's legacy going. Being exclusively part of the Maine community, it gives us more sustainability. I feel like we all kind of have each other's backs, and the Maine community is always going to be there.
Ginger, thank you so much for showing us around the Maine Malt House. What a cool experience to see it that up close and personal.
Thanks for coming. That was an awesome time.
So Michael, we're moving right along to our next farm, and you know the Smiths at Smith's Farm pretty well.
Absolutely, and I'm super excited to showcase what they do. They're pretty huge here in Aroostook County, and they primarily grow broccoli and cauliflower.
So Smith's Farm is a 6th generation business at this point. Smith's Farm was established actually in 1859. My great-great-great-grandfather came to Aroostook County up a trail with a team of oxen and a pair of horses and his wife, and cleared land, which is incredibly difficult to do, especially at that time with the tools that they had. So we've been farming for generations since. So I'm one of the 6th generation, one of 3 of the 6th generation to be farming here in Aroostook County. Yeah, we're just super excited to be here. In the 80s, transitioned to broccoli, and then in the 90s, early 2000s, started with some cauliflower as well. In the last 5 years, doing some lettuce. Our Stag brand broccoli are in supermarkets up and down the East Coast, from Miami to Presque Isle, Fort Kent, Maine. Anywhere east of the Mississippi, we're in almost every major chain store. We're to take over the farm and make it better for the next generation. It's not about taking something for yourself. It's all about having a good lifestyle and being able to work and preserve the land for the next generations. Everything we do is hand harvested, from the broccoli, the cauliflower, to the lettuce. Every head is harvested in the field. The quality standards are known by all the people for all the different specs for different customers. And so that's being handled by the people, the front runners on this farm are people. And they're cutting everything by hand, so it takes a lot of manpower.
In Maine, the story of Sappy begins here, among the trees. Every tree, carefully selected and managed, is the first chapter in creating some of the finest paper and packaging products globally.
From the forest, the journey continues here to Skowhegan, where for 50 years, the mill has transformed raw materials into high-quality coated paper, packaging boards, and specialty products trusted by global brands. Here, technology and tradition work side by side. The mill houses 2 of the most advanced paper machines in the world, resulting in sustainable products that are made more efficiently using approximately 80% renewable energy, ensuring every step is efficient, precise, and consistent.
Sappy doesn't just make paper here. We support thousands of Maine families and communities, helping drive Maine's economy forward. Sappy is a proud sponsor of the Maine Business Show, and we are proud to call Maine home.
Welcome back to the Maine Business Show. We are up in Aroostook County with our county experts, Ginger and Michael, talking all things agriculture. First, though, we have to reference what you two are holding. These are our county bouquets we got from Smith's, a fresh head of broccoli.
Yep. Doesn't get any fresher than this. This came right from the field.
I know, we plucked that right out of there. That's awesome. So it would not be a trip to the county, though, without talking about potatoes. So we are headed in our next segment to one of the most significant potato processing plants and farms here in the county, and that's McCrumb's.
That's right. And so we're heading to Washburn, where they have a new multi-million-dollar processing facility, and they produce French fries for restaurants nationwide.
That's so cool.
And the biggest part about that too, and why we're big potato heads up here, is because around 90% of the state's potatoes are grown right here in Aroostook County. And when we look at stats on that, it brings in around $1.3 billion of an economic impact for the state that creates around 6,500 jobs. So that's why we're so excited to share what the potato industry has.
It's huge. All right, can't wait to show you what we got up to at McCrumb's. Take a look.
So McCrumb's is a family farm in northern Maine. My great-great-grandfather immigrated from Canada in 1886. Today, in 2025, we still farm the same ground. Here we don't have a sandy soil, we have a nice, rich, loamy soil. We get a lot of natural rainfall. So we're not adding a lot to the potatoes. We're putting them in the ground and letting the good Lord do his work. And that's really what it's all about. The potatoes are just grown in a very natural environment. My grandfather used to tell us, if you take care of the land, it'll take care of you. And being a young boy, I thought it was a cool phrase, but I never truly understand it. But now I see, as we put more into the ground, more care into the ground, it is going to take care of us better every year. I'm the 5th generation farmer. We were the traditional family farm here in Maine, but as our family grew, we wanted to stay together. But to do that, we had to diversify. Then in 2020, we built this new French fry facility in Washburn, Maine. So that's really grown our business. So on a daily basis here at McCrum, we'll use 750 to 800,000 pounds of potatoes every day to make the French fries that we produce. So when a potato comes into the back of the McCrum plant, until the time it's made into a French fry is 40 minutes. So from a whole potato into your box of fries is 40 minutes. You can eat our fries, whether it be Raisin Cane, Red Robin, Golden Corral, or you could go to your local Sam's Club and you can probably find a box of them there. I'm so excited for the future agriculture, especially in Maine, especially for the potato industry. Maine is poised for success in the future. People want to know where their food comes from. And if you're sitting anywhere in the Northeast, when you eat that French fry or that baked potato, if you know what comes from Maine, you know it came from Aroostook County. I love what we do. I love growing potatoes. I love the agricultural community we're in. I never wanted to do anything else.
We're a bank, remember us?
Them big green K, Katahdin Trust. Like HSAs and ATMs and financing your house.
Or cashing out some equity to travel with your spouse. Check your balance, pay your bills, deposit from the app. And Eunice here can start a line of credit in a snap.
We're local folks who love to see the growth in our community.
So giving back is what we do.
And helping customers like you.
Who's got your back with bank accounts? And volunteering where it counts.
I hope by now you could have guessed Katahdin Trust.
Community banking at its best.
This fall, your future begins at Northern Maine Community College.
It's almost like a tight-knit family community here.
NM's affordability and all the certificates you gain from your programs definitely sets it apart from most other places.
They're very helpful as well. The teacher's always there. You can always contact them, call them, email them.
NMCC was by far the best decision for me.
Don't wait. Fall enrollment is open now and classes fill fast. NMCC. Your future starts here.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
Welcome back. I am so excited to introduce this next segment that you can expect on every episode of the Maine Business Show. It is called Rooted in Good. And maybe you're wondering why we're sitting right here. I mean, it is a gorgeous view, but we're at the SAD1 Educational Farm, which we're going to call the Presque Isle School Farm once in a while. And we're here because they're part of a really cool partnership that's doing good for the community. And so what this segment is all about is the people, places, and businesses that are contributing positively or making impact in their communities. And Ginger, you brought this to the table for us and told us about this awesome partnership happening here. Maybe you can explain it a little bit more.
Yeah, happy to. So MMG Insurance kind of kicked this off, and I used to work there. So we connected with Good Shepherd Food Bank, statewide organization, and we said we'd like to have some sort of partnership with you that also benefits Aroostook County. So we ended up establishing what started with a donation from MMG of $10,000 to Good Shepherd, and Good Shepherd took that and worked with the school farm to buy produce from them and take that produce fresh and sink it back into the community of Aroostook County in food banks across Aroostook County.
Well, there are some fabulous people behind it. Thank you for introducing us to them. I'm so excited that viewers at home get to meet all of the people behind this great initiative.
School Farm is one of our Mainers Feeding Mainers partners. In the state of Maine, we partner with over 95 farms and we source and distribute produce to the pantry partners throughout the state. School Farm is our partner in Aroostook County, And MMG Insurance helped us start that partnership up and provided some funding for the initial order.
Ginger Buck contacted myself and the CT director at the time and wanted to just kind of meet and talk a little bit about a partnership with MMG, and that's how it kind of come into play. Back in the early 90s, there was a lady that owned this property and she donated it to the school for educational purposes. Eventually they settled on doing a school farm. Started with vegetables and then strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, original 900 apple trees, and it kind of just grew from there.
Our CT department, their classes come up here. We have building trades, we have farm mechanics, we have ag science, they come up.
Whatever they're working on in the classroom, if they can tie it into the farm, they come up and it's a lab for them. For instance, we do a cider unit, so they'll come up and learn how to make apple cider. Then they come back the next day and bottle it and get it out into the stores.
When they first planted the orchard, they didn't go row by row, so we painted the trunks, so the color of each trunk is a different variety.
How many varieties?
25.
Wow.
Just under 3,000 trees.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Since 2022, we have sourced 57,000 pounds from School Farm of fresh produce that has been distributed to our pantry partners in Aroostook County. That's about $25,000 worth of produce. And it's been a partnership that's really helped us achieve food security in Aroostook County, which is currently the 3rd highest rate of food insecurity in the state of Maine.
I like it. It's a great thing, and I think it means a lot to the kids as well. You know, it's not just up here where we're putting orders together and this and that and shipping it off. It's actually putting an order together for something that's meaningful and is helping people. And they really take a good role in that, a serious role.
I would say the overall emergency food network is based on volunteerism and giving back to communities. And so watching people start that at such a young age is really inspiring, because I've seen how many people have been doing this work for generations and how families really continue the traditions. And so it's just really beautiful to watch people choose to give their time and their talents in that way.
And joining me now on the Educational Farm is Kirsten Purrington, the new president and CEO of the Aroostook Partnership, or I should say a few months in at this point.
A few months in,
You've cut your teeth a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Thanks for joining me here.
Thank you for having me today.
Not a bad day to be in Aroostook County.
No, it's a beautiful day to be in Aroostook County.
So you are the president and CEO of the Aroostook Partnership. I want to dive right in because you played an integral role in this episode of what we're making today, and we'll get to that. But first, what is the Aroostook Partnership?
Oh, it's a wonderful organization. The Aroostook Partnership is a nonprofit based in Caribou, Maine. And for over 20 years, our mission has been to support economic and community development here in the county. We're unique in that we have both public and private sector investors amongst our investor base. And collectively, we speak as one voice. We use our time, our talents, and our treasury to really get behind efforts that are going to support the broader business community here in the region.
And I'm sure there's lots that goes into that. I want to get into those initiatives in a second, but what are some of the businesses that are part of the partnership?
Absolutely. Well, I'm proud to say that we have over 70 member businesses as part of the partnership, with representation from the key industries in the area. And that includes banking and financial institutions like the County Federal Credit Union and Katahdin Trust Company. We have energy businesses like Dead River, and we also have representation from the area higher education institutions, which includes the Northern Maine Community College. And together, we are proud supporters of our agricultural and our forestry colleagues, and we are thrilled to see their efforts and the programs and the businesses highlighted in today's episode.
Speaking about those initiatives, what are some of the initiatives that you do support?
So we do so by cultivating investments in the region and by getting behind efforts that are going to support our broader business community. This includes activity around legislative advocacy, addressing childcare and housing needs, workforce development, and talent attraction.
And speaking of talent attraction, you're new to the area, so welcome to Aroostook County, but how are you working the Aroostook Partnership in drawing new people to this region?
Well, first of all, many of the area businesses are actively recruiting for careers in healthcare, the skilled trades, and professional services. And we believe that our communities grow stronger when we're able to attract and retain key talent. So to that effort, we have developed a newly updated website called opportunitiesaroostook.com. And this serves as a platform to showcase all that the region has to offer. So for example, if you go on the website, you'll find links to wonderful career opportunities and area businesses, community features like schools and hospitals, and links to the events that take place throughout the year like the many wonderful festivals. The county truly is a special place to work, live, and play.
I know that Aristic Partnerships represents different industries, but today we focused on the agricultural industry, and maybe you can just touch on a broader level how much that industry impacts the county economically.
Agriculture is a cornerstone of the economy here in Aroostook County and in the state of Maine, with potatoes being the #1 driver. According to the USDA, in 2022, the total agricultural output, which includes crops like soybeans, hay, and barley, was worth about $870 million statewide, with Aroostook County contributing to a third of that. And in that same year, the Maine potato industry as a whole had a total economic output of $1.3 billion.
Oh my gosh.
Aroostook County is the epicenter for this activity, with over 90% of the state's total acreage farmed for potatoes taking place right here in the county.
So not only is it like this big economy driver here for the county, but really the entire state.
Absolutely. And it really highlights the vital role that our farmers and our farm workers play to really sustain our state economy. And the Aroostook Partnership is thrilled to showcase their efforts and support their efforts and to see their efforts highlighted in today's episode.
Kirsten, thank you so much. Thanks for coming out on this sunny day with me. And I'm sure that we'll be chatting soon for our next adventure to the county.
I look forward to it. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. Thank you.
At Dead River Company, we know your trust is earned over generations of showing up and following through. It's in every answered call, every on-time delivery, every warm home. That's who we are, who we've been, who we'll always be. Over a century of heating New England. Dead River Company, earning your trust for generations.
Hi everybody, Maine Life merch is back. We are so excited to once again partner with local designers and makers to offer some great gift ideas for your loved ones, maybe yourself. Celebrate the best life, Maine Life, and shop maine-life.com.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand, hurry into your Honda dealer today.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Maine Business Show. I cannot thank the two of you enough for bringing us up here and introducing us to so many amazing farms.
Yeah, and Ginger and I are just so proud to call this place home. We've known each other for years and years, going to middle school, high school, all the way through. We've been the best of buds all the way up through. So it's just kind of fun for us to share our little piece of heaven with you guys. We have our families up here. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody, and it's just lovely.
Speaking of that, everybody knows everybody, you just told me this pretty remarkable story that I think encapsulates what this county is all about, especially as it pertains to those who farm here and work together. Do you mind sharing it?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yeah. So you want to talk about ag and community. It started off kind of sad because a combine actually caught on fire last week, and a combine goes out and harvests the grain up here. And it caught on fire right in the middle of the field during harvest, and another farmer got word of that, and he had his sprayer truck heading out to that field before the fire trucks could get there to try to mitigate the spread of the fire. And from another field over, another farmer was disking the hedgerows of the potato fields, and he stopped what he was doing and he took his tractor and went out and he started doing circles around the fire that was out there to keep it from spreading. And at one point they had it in a pretty good place, and then the fire jumped to the grain, and that farmer got back in his tractor and did more circles, and at one point there were flames coming out from either side of his tractor, and he just kept going. And that's the level of support these farmers came together. It's just so impressive.
It is, and they were able to mitigate a lot of damage just by working together, and that's really been a huge theme of this episode, and just a theme between you two right here. So thank you again. What a way to kick off our season here in Aroostook County. Maine Life is so excited to be launching another season of Maine Business, where we're not only explaining what so many businesses around the state are doing, but why they do it, digging a little bit deeper and uncovering all of the great stories like we featured here in Aroostook County today of the people behind sort of the hustle of what makes these communities strong around the state of Maine. We'll see you next time. That's going to do it for this episode of the Maine Business All right. And we're only halfway through the day. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of Maine Business. What a way to kick off a new season. And
We'll talk to you never. I don't know what to say. Will you do the whole interview with that in your mouth?
Now you listen here. That's what my grandfather used to do. Have a toothpick in here. You listen here.